Ready for this one?
Yeah, okay. So to kick off, today I'm going to talk about one of the toughest decisions that I've made so far in my life, which was the decision to switch my career path, So about 3 years ago, I finally found my passion. I found the calling of my life, which was working as a software engineer in the future. But the decision was so hard to make. And it was simply because, at that time already, I had spent 4 years in the University of Economics in Ho Chi Minh City. And which meant that, my parents had invested a great deal of money in me. So if I changed my career path, all of the effort of my parents and me would go wasted, But I certainly didn't want that. So and the decision was not a hasty one. Before taking the decision, I had researched a lot. I've read countless articles, blogs, and the opinions of many figures in the tech domain. And I drew a conclusion that, in the future, the shortage for software engineers in Vietnam will not be solved in the near future. The demands will grow exponentially in the future. So I saw my opportunity. So if I land a decent job in tech domain, I would probably make a lucrative future, and I would be able to fend for myself and provide for my family financially. So I was an relentless internal battle for almost a month before I talked things over with my family. So, but fortunately, my parents were extremely supportive, and I was so grateful for having my parents so support of my career path. And I owe them a great debt of gratitude. So in the future, I would try my best to take care of them when they are in their old age. Okay.
Okay. Now let's talk about fluency first. In this part, I don't see lots of like connectives and discourse markers. Can you give me some more that you used in this part, except for these two words? The contents. The contents are a lot of like vocabulary, grammar. But for this one, I don't see quite much. Can you give me some more that you did use?
Maybe I lack the connective in my talk, so I improve it. Yeah.
It's so hard to make draw convolution in terms. I see my passion and it is of my life. Can you say that word again? It is
the calling of my life.
Can you spell this word? C-O, right?
CALLING.
Calling.
Yeah, the calling of
The calling of my life. I have spent probably for immigrants. One more thing is about pronunciation. Try to use contraction. I've researched a lot instead of saying the full way. Like use the short form of this one. Do you want to give it a try one more time, and you will try to add some more words for fluency?
Vậy được rồi cô, để em improve sau. Để em hơi đau cổ này, không nói được nhiều được.
Okay. Now, Ying, please. It's your turn for topic 27.
Okay. Off the top of my head, when it comes to a healthy habit that helps me stay healthy, stay in shape, I'm going to talk about my go-to sport, which is going swimming. To kick off, I gotta admit that doing physical exercise used not to be my cup of tea. That said, when I was growing up, I gradually realized the significance of a healthy lifestyle. So I made up my mind to take up going swimming a few months ago. Well, actually, the main motives with why I choose swimming is that it's really a great way to like immerse myself in the clean blue water in such these like boiling hot weather. Um, Honestly speaking, instead of going to the beach, I'm much more into swimming in the swimming pool since it's quite nearer from my house as well as um, safer, of course. Mm, uh, well, frankly speaking, I'm now quite up to my ears in having like lessons at school. Um, so like, but I always try my best to go swimming at least once a week to keep fit and stay healthier. Um, and yeah, so if I had a chance, I'd love to like have more time to go swimming.
Okay. I I reckon that the part that you do it quite well for this one is about vocab. Now let's talk about fluency. Connectives and discourse markers, okay. However, try to speed it up. I mean the speed. Try to make it a little bit quicker. Now let's talk about grammar. How many tenses did you use for this one? Did you use past tense only, or try to use another tense?
Well, like just like em có dùng ở trong used to có thể cũng bị used to.
Used to là em đang dùng có khởi đơn trong bài này rồi. Và
Yeah,
anything else?
just past tense and present tense. Có vượt bạc được và lại có cuối mặc dù hơi sao.
So, okay. When it happened, try to use like past continuous when it comes to saying when it happened. For example, actually at that time I was browsing the internet and I saw an advertising about the benefits of swimming. That's why I made up my mind to register for a swimming course.
Okay.
Right. Now let's talk about this topic 35. Look, can you give it a try for this topic, healthy activity?
Yeah, I can. Off the top of my head, when it comes to a great way of getting fit and healthy, I would like to talk about sports. To kick off, I want to point out the benefit from playing sports. Um, Physical health is the first thing that I want to mention. Um, because playing sport can be beneficial for your physical health, and there are multiple choices for you with different outcome. For instance, running helps you to build muscles and strengthen the bones, or playing basketball can make you taller, and so on. The second thing is being good at one or two sport can be crucial in the future when you have the opportunities to make friends. And believe me, sports is the best way to connect with other people. Um, Moving on to how I play sports, I'm actually quite good at playing football since I had been played when I was a kid, and I often go to the school pitch at around um, 5:30 every evening, which is the time that most people come to play. And I also have friends who can teach me tricks and skills for dribbling and controlling the ball, which is very useful. And I have to say that I learned a lot from their persistent, yeah. And I also try on some exercise to improve my strength and muscle, which is my weak point. And in the end, I enjoy playing sport, and I will continue to keep on the work. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. For this part, the thing you need to like fluency, vocab, grammar is okay. And what I mean is for this one. First word, kick off or kick off.
Kick off.
Mm-hmm. Whenever I've been out, these ones need to be used as a contraction. Alright. So now we will move to part 3, right? Part 3 of these 3 topics. First 27. Changes. First question. Third, please. So, is it good for people to change jobs frequently?
So in my country, there are a lot of people changing their job frequently, simply because they just want to have new experience, or simply because their previous jobs don't suit their personality. So, in my case, I used to work in a coffee shop when I was in my primary, when I was in my high school. But after 4 months of working, I felt that I wasn't, studying anything. I wasn't gaining any benefit from working in a coffee shop rather than earning a little bit of money. So that was the reason I left. But on the other hand, I have to say that there are maybe other, factors that contribute to the decision of a employer when they decide to change their path. So, for example, the salary wasn't good, or the way that their boss treat them wasn't up to their standards. So there are many reasons for the decision of hopping job of employees.
Okay, it seems like you misunderstand the question. Like, is it good for people? Was it good or not? And the way you answer is for the question why. Why do people change their jobs frequently?
Oh, okay.
Is it good or bad for people to change their jobs frequently, for many times? Can you answer it again?
Okay. So from my perspective, there are many benefits come with changing job. So first of all, that's simply because as a young people like me, when you change your job, you can bring yourself into contact with many other inspiring people. So you can learn from them. So and you can study about other culture or way of life. You know, in that way you could broaden your horizon and um, you can understand you can look at one problem at many angles. But on the other hand, I have to say that there are risks involved in changing job. It means that you have to be a beginner again, so it's not that good. So you have to try to familiarize yourself the new environment. So there are a lot of risks involved in that. So you have to think twice and make a careful and informed decision about hopping job.
Right. Now let's move to another question. Yin, please.
Okay.
How long should people stay at a job?
Um, well, actually, I think that it kind of depends on like what um, what their purpose for the job is. For example, like if they just like graduate from university, they want to try a lot of other opportunities. They can just stay for a job, maybe uh, like a couple of years, or just count as months. Uh, that said, when it comes to like older people, like with like they want a little bit like a fixed job. They maybe they just like stay with their job until they retire.
Okay. So, from your perspective, from my perspective, it kind of depends on the age we are. For example, if this person is a young one, it is like better for them to stay there for a couple of years to learn new skills, build their qualifications, and show that they are excellent at work enough to change to another environment. However, for like older people, if this job is like stable and permanent for them, they should stay there for the rest of their life without changing to adapt to a new environment. Okay, so next one. Look, please. Why do you think adapting to change is difficult for some people?
Well, I suppose that um, there's a small minority of people that don't have the uh, urge to change to the new things. I mean that some of them might be conservative and they don't want to adapt new things because they are used to the old one and they don't have the necessity to change. So I mean that is kind of fair, but uh, for nowadays, I mean that it is better to know how what is good and what should we use. So is kind of uh, fair to say that sometimes we need to adapt to get better in life and also in life. Yeah.
So you divided this one into two circumstances. First one is those who are conservative and those who are like they are afraid of changing.
Yes.
Okay. Next one. Cook, please. Your question is it
Yes.
easy for old people to change?
So from my perspective, is really challenging for the elderly to change, simply because when you're old, it's not the time for you to take risks. It's better for you to stay within your comfort zone and thrive in a safe, stable environment, because change is unsafe. Change is unpredictable. So you can never be sure that you're okay after the change, or if the change have any detrimental impact on your life or your health. So it's really, you know, it's really unsafe for old people to change. A permanent job, a stable salary, I often give them a sense of stability and safety. So I don't recommend for old people changing. Oh, I see. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next one. Yin, please.
Okay.
Do people usually change their routine?
Hmm. Well, I guess most of uh, most of people often mm, have a same daily routine. Like maybe it kind of changed a little bit, but um, for job or just study, maybe we just do these two things almost every day, and especially if uh, no, I mean that apart from like some special occasion, such as some sudden event or important announcement, we can change our daily routine in some specific event like that.
Okay, so most of the time, people rarely change their daily routine. They want to keep this habit for long. However, on some special occasions, like some sudden or unexpected announcements, they need to adjust their routine, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 5. Sports. The please. How can we make children exercise more?
Well, mm, in my opinion, I think that we should encourage young people, especially children, to exercise. And there are multiple ways to do. Um, I think that the most important thing is that you uh, should be the partner for them to train to work with. I mean that um, uh, it is good to sometimes have a friend or a partner to work with. You share the fun with them, and you can teach them new things that they can learn. For example, mm, swimming is hard for kids to learn the first time, but also they it is essential for them to have a coach or a person to guide them to swim properly. Yeah.
So there are two ways, right? Did you use any linking words to link from the first point to the second one? Or does you use and?
Mm,
Do you want to answer again and using a linking word, like a discourse marker for this one? With the same content, but just add one more linking word, not and, for this one.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, well, in my opinion, I think that we should be uh, uh, the one that who encourage children to work, to exercise, because I think that it is important. And um, for me, the important thing is that they we should be the one that work with them to be their partner, so that uh, uh, we can share the fun while uh, getting involved with, and also and to guide them. Yeah. Cái gì khỏe cô nè,
Hả? Chứ
đuổi khổ.
cách trả lời thứ hai giống như không phải đồ khó, tức là mình đang quen với việc cứ tức là nghĩ cái gì thì mà liệt kê ý ra nó không có từ nổi ấy. Nên là thường các bạn thấy vocab là học được như cụm từ này, ngữ pháp này, pronunciation ok, nhưng mà fluency thì không có connectives, bắt đầu một câu trả lời không có từ và nổi còn chỉ có liệt kê ý thôi. Thì giả sử ba cái này 307 thì cái này là 5 hay là 4 thì nó sẽ kéo xuống rất là nhiều. Đó, thì cố gắng trong quá trình nói thì thêm cả cái từ nối vào, từ nối vào từ liên kết ý nhé, chứ nó là lần 2 cũng giống như lần 1 luôn. Ok, dạ cái này cho cô. Next one, third please.
Yes.
Is exercising the only way to stay healthy?
So from my perspective, the answer is totally depends on what kind of healthy mean. So what define a person is healthy? There's many aspects of healthy, you know. So actually, we have two facets of healthy. You know, mental health and physical health. So about in terms of physical health, you know, you can do exercises. You can hit the gym. You can go swimming with your friends on a daily basis. But on the other hand, in order to achieve the total well-being of a person, you have to take care of your mental health. I have to say that, you know, in order to be mentally healthy, you should, you know, read books. You should really slow down in this such fast-changing world. You have to really observe what you really need, what you really want to do in life, in order to achieve the total well-being. So that's my opinion.
So apart from can you give your ideas one more time? I mean, apart from exercising, other ways it could be like reading books, right? Anything else?
Communicating with other members in your family to relieve anxiety and to be more relaxed, you know.
Mm-hmm. It evolve in like mental health, right?
Yes.
Next one. New, please. what do old people in your country do to keep fit?
Honestly speaking, I suppose that for most of the part, the elderly people in my country tend to like do gardening, like in order to stay in shape. Um, Maybe the motive is like one of the main motives is that they can like do some exercise as well as maybe can get some fresh vegetable or fruit from doing gardening. And I think it's quite a great way, also a great way to um, let their hair down or to keep the time.
Do gardening? Anything else? The elderly in my country can do various activities to stay in shape, but I guess the most common one could be doing gardening. They can like gain happiness from playing and growing vegetables, plants and flowers. It is maybe the right way for them to unwind and release some stress. Moreover, another way for them to keep fit is to, so besides doing gardening, what else do the elderly in your country usually do?
Well, maybe they can like I don't really know exactly since
Doing yoga every morning or just walking, going for a
maybe
stroll?
like cycling.
Second. Okay, so can you answer one more time? Combine two ideas within one answer.
Okay. So I suppose that there are various ways for the elderly people in my country to stay in shape. Uh, However, I guess one of the most common one is doing gardening. Uh, since they can be provided with a lot of fresh vegetable and fruits. Mm, Moreover, maybe they can do some gentle exercise such as going jogging or cycling um, every early morning in order to keep fit and relieve their stress or something like that.
Okay, this one. Third, please.
Yes.
Okay. So, what can governments do to improve public health?
So the first thing that sprung to my mind is, you know, the government could provide more funding to construct many places and provide equipment for people to do exercises. So, for example, in Vietnam, there are in many parks in Vietnam, you can see a lot of the instruction of the outdoor gym or outdoor track, running track for people to run to do athletic outside. You know. Từ tự nhiên hết ý thôi. Từ con em còn lại.
Okay, cái đầu tiên là gọi là investing in sports facilities, such as outdoor treadmill or some other like sport equipment in some parks for people to go there. Attracts a lot of People
Oh,
doing
okay. What's more is the government could teach the general public about the benefits of doing exercises. So in that way, the government could heighten the awareness of people about exercising. For example, cardiovascular exercises such as lifting weight or risking fast cycling can help people to reduce the level of cholesterol in their blood and speed up the metabolism in their bodies. So in that way, the general public can be more healthy. Okay.
Here, next one. Doug, please. Is it hard for modern people to live a healthy lifestyle?
Um, excuse me. The question is, do people um,
Okay, one more
easy
time.
to live the healthy lifestyle? Is it
No.
correct?
Is it
Yeah.
hard for modern people to live a healthy lifestyle?
Well, I suppose that people um, actually most of modern people don't have the urge to exercise, so that I think that won't bother anyone if they have to change the way that they exercise, because they usually don't. But I but for the people that exercise a lot, I mean, like uh, in daily habit or something like that, and I could see that it is really hard to difficult to change, since by uh, uh, stop doing exercise, like, you also need to find something to uh, replace with, which is kind of challenging, because doing exercise, besides from gaining muscle and strength, it also create a kind of a, a, a chemical reaction that makes you feel uh, exciting and um, feel energetic. So I think that for some people it is kind of hard to get rid of the working the get rid of that. I mean that healthy lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, it kind of depends. I mean, for some, with the nature of working environment nowadays, people have to like just sit down for a long time and deal with lots of stuff in front of their computers. It's really hard and challenging for them to have a healthy lifestyle. So they just work without doing any kind of sports. However, for others who are really into doing sports and love to live a like healthier life, of course, I don't think it's hard for them to keep fit, as these days we have lots of sports facilities which are like state of the art for them to doing exercise even in the like the company. We also have a trim to like doing sports there. So it kind of depends on the situation, right? So do you want to
Em
answer
nghe
again?
nhanh quá nè ha anh chị. Em nghe từ listen to left.
Cô thầy câu trả lời của Đức thằng cứ vong bỏ kiểu gì mà cũng không hiểu là trả lời vào câu hỏi chưa? Thầy cứ đi vong.
Yeah.
Nó trả lời lại. So one more time.
Well, I suppose that nowadays people are used to working for a long for what for a long term, like just sitting and for a long time. So I think that they really need to exercise a little bit to have uh, I mean um, to be better at physical health and health due to kind of